Do you know exactly which blood type you belong to? Or have you ever looked at a blood test result and wondered, besides knowing for blood transfusions, do those letters A, B, O, or AB have any other meaning? Why is it that with the same diet one blood type stays healthy while another easily gets bloated? Why does stress manifest more strongly in people with blood type A than in others? The answer lies right in your veins. Right now, your blood type may be silently revealing how your body will age and how long you are likely to live, even though most of us have never thought about it. Because not all blood types are the same, some carry a natural advantage in cardiovascular protection. Some tend to protect the brain better. And there are also blood types containing hidden risks that do not manifest early but only gradually appear after decades of living in your body. In this video, you will clearly see the true strengths, weaknesses, and scientific predictions about the longevity of each blood type explained in an easy-to-understand, scientifically grounded, and deep enough way to make you look at your own health from a completely different perspective. Therefore, to understand why each person's longevity differs, we need to start from a very small, even invisible factor. Blood type antigens. Blood type is not merely a symbol for blood transfusion purposes. It is deeply involved in how your immune system recognizes risks, how blood forms clots, how the body reacts to prolonged stress, how you fight infections, and even the rate at which your brain ages over the years. These mechanisms occur silently, but when accumulated over decades, they can create a huge difference in health and longevity. Biologically, humans are classified into four main blood types: O, A, B, and AB. Each group carries its own design set, consisting of characteristic advantages and weaknesses, thereby shaping your long-term health journey. To see this picture honestly and scientifically, we will analyze each blood type in turn, starting with the most ancient bloodline in the history of human evolution. Before going into detailed analysis, I want to clarify a medical fact. Blood type is just an initial biological characteristic. It is not destiny. A study on centenarians in Italy has proven that long-lived people are not those with the best blood type, but those who know their weaknesses well to prevent them early. When speaking of blood type O, whether O positive or O negative, researchers often view this as a group with very clear survival advantages, especially in the cardiovascular aspect. The reason is that the bodies of type O individuals naturally have lower levels of certain clotting factors. This makes the blood less likely to form dangerous blood clots, the main culprit behind myocardial infarction and stroke. Simply put, your heart and brain have been pre-equipped with a protective layer right from birth, and it is this silent biological advantage that helps many type O individuals have a better foundation for long-term longevity. Looking back at evolutionary history, the advantage of type O is also clearly shown in the ability to resist some once lethal infectious diseases such as malaria. Type O individuals tend to have higher survival rates in harsh environments, allowing their genes to be passed down through generations. Although today's living context has changed, the echoes of this survival advantage are still imprinted in the health profiles of modern type O individuals. However, biology always involves trade-offs. The biggest weakness of type O lies in the digestive system, particularly the stomach. Helicobacter pylori, the leading cause of gastric ulcers, tends to attach to the gastric mucosa of type O individuals more easily. This explains why many type O people frequently experience burning sensations, bloating discomfort, or prolonged gastritis, even if their diet is not too bad. In these cases, blood type may be a part of the picture that few people notice. Not only that, type O individuals can also have more severe reactions to certain gastrointestinal infections such as cholera or norovirus. Food poisoning or contaminated drinking water can therefore have more serious consequences compared to other blood types. And because blood clots more slowly type O, individuals also have a higher risk of bleeding more heavily when encountering major trauma or accidents. So, in summary, what does this say about the longevity of type O? Generally, this is the group with the highest potential for longevity, mainly because the cardiovascular system ages more slowly over time. However, this advantage is only truly realized when type O individuals take good care of their gut health and digestive system. Briefly put, the heart is your superpower, and the stomach is the point that needs the most protection. Next is blood type A, which can be seen as survivors in a state of high alertness. Evolutionarily, type A appeared later associated with the period when humans transitioned to farming, lived in crowded communities, and faced entirely new disease patterns. That historical imprint is still deeply ingrained in your biology today. The bodies of type A individuals tend to produce a strong antibody response, helping their ancestors better resist viral waves that spread quickly through close contact, a vital advantage in the cramped villages of the past. Some modern studies also show that type A individuals may have a more subtle coordination between the immune system and the brain. This may bring certain benefits to learning ability, memory, and concentration levels, especially in early life. However, every advantage comes with its price. In type A, individuals' platelets tend to be stickier, making blood more prone to clotting. Consequently, the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and events related to blood clotting may be higher compared to some other groups. This is one of the reasons why the cardiovascular longevity of type A individuals is often lower than that of type O. And there remains another silent challenge: stress. Type A individuals often have higher baseline cortisol levels. This is the body's primary stress hormone. For thousands of years, this characteristic helped type A ancestors stay alert, vigilant, manage unpredictable environments well, and survive constant threats. But in a modern context, when stress comes from work deadlines, traffic jams, financial pressure, and constant notification streams, that very survival mechanism becomes a double-edged sword. Chronic stress can accelerate the aging process, especially for the cardiovascular and nervous systems of type A individuals. Therefore, when talking about type A's longevity, the message is quite clear: you can absolutely live long and healthy, but it requires proactivity. Stress needs to be managed, emotions need to be supported, and cardiovascular health must be consistently cared for. In other words, your immune system is very strong, but it is the heart and mental life that are the elements needing the most protection. Now we come to blood type B, which can be called the experts in metabolism and adaptation. Although not the most common group in the world, type B individuals possess one of the most flexible and unique sets of biological traits. Evolutionarily, this blood type spread along with ancient nomadic communities, people who had to constantly move, adapting to harsh climates, precarious food sources, and environments that changed day by day. It was that lifestyle that programmed the type B body to be more flexible than most of us realize. That nomadic heritage has created a balanced and fast-adapting immune system, much like a versatile tool, not too aggressive to harm its own body, but not so weak as to be easily overcome. Some studies show that type B individuals are better at resisting certain bacterial threats thanks to an immune system that knows how to adjust its response according to the circumstances. Along with that, type B's metabolism also proves to be very versatile, ready to adapt to many different types of nutrition. Historically, type B ancestors were not bound to a fixed diet. They ate meat, grains, fermented milk, wild plants, whatever could be obtained on their journey. Therefore, their metabolism learned how to process various types of food effectively. However, this very flexibility also carries downsides that cannot be ignored. Firstly, the risk of autoimmune diseases in type B individuals tends to be higher. A flexible immune system can sometimes become too enthusiastic, reacting more strongly than necessary and turning to attack the body itself. Secondly, modern processed foods are a major challenge. A metabolism formed in an ancient context was not designed to handle fast food, refined sugar, or ultra-processed products. Therefore, weight gain, insulin disorders, and inflammation can appear faster in type B individuals than in type O. So what does this say about the longevity of type B? Most type B individuals often go through middle age with relatively good health and high resilience. But the quality and length of the later years depend heavily on managing inflammation. For type B, the immune system is both a superpower and a point of vulnerability. How you eat, exercise, and manage inflammation will determine whether you age fast or slow, and more importantly, whether you age healthily or tiredly. Finally, there is blood type AB, the rarest group, the youngest evolutionarily, and also the group with the most hybrid features. This blood type only formed when populations carrying types A and B merged together several thousand years ago, making type AB individuals part of the newest evolutionary experiment in human biological history. This very youthfulness brings some unique advantages, but at the same time it comes with potential prices that cannot be overlooked. Immunologically, type AB individuals possess a rarely seen calm and tolerant system. Your body tends to maintain good balance when exposed to many different types of antigens, thereby reacting excessively less often. This is also believed to be the reason why type AB individuals have a lower risk of certain types of stomach and gastrointestinal cancers. However, it is this very tolerance that creates one of the biggest biological trade-offs among all blood types. Many large-scale studies show that type AB individuals have a higher risk of memory and cognitive decline in old age. Scientists suggest that this may be related to the special combination of blood clotting patterns, microinflammation around brain blood vessels, and an overly lenient immune system not reacting strongly enough to handle silent damage in the brain over time. In addition, type AB blood also tends to be sticky, similar to type A, increasing the risk of mini strokes and tiny vascular problems. These factors, when accumulated over many years, can accelerate brain aging without you even realizing it. Therefore, when it comes to the longevity of Group AB, the focus does not lie in the cardiovascular system, like Group O, nor entirely in metabolism, like Group B. For type AB individuals, it is the brain that is the organ needing the most protection. Your immune system is naturally very calm, but the brain needs more support. And it is the lifestyle, from sleep, exercise, and inflammation management to cognitive stimulation, that will play a decisive role in shaping your health and quality of life in the future. After having clearly seen the picture of the four main blood types, there is still another factor rarely mentioned, but silently impacting your health and longevity: the Rh factor. Whether you are Rh positive or Rh negative may not make you feel different in your daily life, but biologically it affects how the body reacts in certain medical situations, how pregnancy is handled by the body, and the path your immune system has evolved over time. If you are Rh positive, your biology reflects a distinct advantage in an ancient context: a stronger defensive capacity against certain infections, which was extremely important in an era when epidemics could sweep through communities very quickly. In return, some studies show that Rh-positive individuals may carry a slightly higher risk for a few types of cancer, although this level of difference is not absolute and is also heavily influenced by lifestyle. Conversely, if you are Rh-negative, the biological story becomes more complex. Historically, Rh-negative pregnancy was a major risk. When an Rh-negative mother was pregnant with an Rh-positive baby, the mother's immune system could recognize the fetus's blood cells as strangers and attack them. This was once a cause of serious complications, but fortunately, modern medicine today has almost completely solved this issue. On the positive side, some studies show that Rh-negative individuals may regulate inflammatory responses differently, and this difference can affect the aging process in subtle but significant ways. Additionally, because Rh-negative is quite rare in many populations, those with this trait are often monitored more carefully medically in emergency situations or during childbirth. This additional medical attention, although indirect, can create a small longevity advantage in modern society. When putting all these pieces of information together, how does the overall picture of longevity according to blood type emerge? Based on current scientific models, it must be emphasized that this is not destiny, not a certain prediction, but only tendencies drawn from long-term data. We can outline a relative ranking of the longevity potential of the four main blood types. In the leading position is usually Group O. This group shows the highest overall longevity potential, mainly due to naturally lower blood clotting ability, which helps the heart and vascular system age more slowly over time. When other factors such as lifestyle and healthcare are well controlled, this biological advantage can accumulate into a distinct difference in longevity. Following is Group B. Type B. Individuals often benefit from a flexible immune system and good adaptive metabolic capacity, helping them maintain stable health throughout many stages of life. However, the longevity potential of this group depends heavily on controlling inflammation. If chronic inflammation is ignored, the initial advantage may gradually be eroded over time. In the next position is Group A. This group benefits from strong immune characteristics in the early stages of life, but carries higher baseline cortisol levels and increased cardiovascular risk. If prolonged stress and heart health are not proactively managed, these factors can shorten longevity even though the initial potential is not low. And in the final position in this ranking is blood type AB. Not because type AB individuals cannot live long, but because their tolerant immune structure and specific blood clotting patterns can increase the risk of cognitive decline as they age. For Group AB, the biggest challenge does not lie in the cardiovascular system, but in the brain, making the protection of brain function a top priority for long-term health. But this is also the most important thing to remember in this entire story. Blood type is not destiny. It is not a sentence nor a prediction carved in stone. Blood type is just an initial blueprint of biological suggestion showing where your body is strong, where it is vulnerable, and over time, which factors you may need more or less of to stay healthy. You cannot change your blood type, but you can completely change how it impacts your longevity. Genetics only loads the gun, while lifestyle habits are what pull the trigger. When you clearly understand your own biology, you are no longer passively waiting for the future to happen. You are proactively intervening, shaping, and extending it. So now, since you know the advantages, disadvantages, and longevity tendencies associated with your blood type, which group do you belong to? And which characteristics surprised you the most? Please share in the comments section. Because your blood does not just transport oxygen, it also carries evolutionary history, potential risks, unique strengths, and the potential for a long, healthy, and more resilient life. If you love this journey of exploring the scientific layers hidden deep within the human body, please subscribe to follow and not miss upcoming content.